Okay, this presentation is going to be for the class, be for learning project number 4. I chose to do mine on central truck pullers. As you'll see in the attached PowerPoint presentation, I have slides that accompany this presentation. The central truck pullers have been in existence for 11 years. Next slide. Um, we have 4 different classes. The first class being the 8,000 pound light limited pro stock diesel tractor class. In this class you'll see several different brands of tractors that you would find in many farms in the Midwest, but they are far from your typical farm tractors. These tractors have nearly 1,500 horse under the hood, and these tractors also require a lot of driver skill, as this class is very light compared to many other classes that you'd see at other events. Next slide. A new class that we had last year, or in 2013, was the 3.0 Pro Diesel 4x4 truck class. Quite a few trucks pulling in this class. Typical to the diesel trucks you'd see on the streets driving around Wisconsin. These machines are running around 1,300 horse. It's being put to the ground by 4 standard road tires. This class is rapidly growing with interest by both fans and pullers alike. If you want to see lots of smoke, this is a truck class that you should see. Next slide. Super stock diesel 4-wheel drive truck class is considered an entry-level class for many pulley circuits, but is far from entry-level, as there are many of the machines that pull with Central that also pull at higher events such as National Truck Pullers Association, along with Badger State and the Lucas Pro pulling series. These machines are limited to a 530 cubic inch motor and must run standard street tires. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot of rules other than safety equipment they have to follow. So, money's really, not the objective here. So it is, like I said, far from an entry level class. Typically, most of these machines run around $35,000 to start just to get a competitive machine. Next slide. Next class that we have is the 4-wheel drive modified class. This class is very popular both on locally but also on the regional and national levels. Many of the trucks that run in our event circuits also pull at other events such as National Tractor Pullers Association, like I mentioned, Lucas Pro Pulling Series, along with Badger State. So it's kind of hit and miss what you're going to have at each event, because sometimes they may be pulling another event. But these trucks can pull up to 680 cubic inch motors. They can run on alcohol. They have cut tires similar to what the tractors class tires are. And very interesting, a lot of these trucks you may see at national events such as Toma Super Nationals, or maybe even televised on TV stations such as Speed TV or RFD. The next slide is just a slide that I had put together last year for my tractor, the Diesel Deer pulling tractor that I use for going and getting sponsors. Take a moment to view the various pictures I have there at your leisure. This past season we had 4 major sponsors for our tractor, which definitely helped defer some of the operating costs. Typically, on an average year, it costs anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 just to keep the tractor running. That doesn't include fuel or any oil or anything that is needed to be changed on a regular basis. Next slide. Just got a couple pictures of some various machines. First one here is a Ford New Holland, just an example of some of the various differences of tractors that you would see at our polls. We have a modified truck called the Prime Time that pulls with us. He's got a 650 cubic inch alcohol motor. Very good running machine. Was the points champion last year and also in 2013. fairly new to the circuit. Does run some NTPA events, but not very many. The next one is Mad Max. It's a diesel pulling truck. Pulls with central truck pullers. Also is running NTPA regional hooks. Finished in the top 3 spots in both regions 3 and 5 this past season. So it's a very strong running truck when he is available to pull at our events. So he puts on a good show. Next one is another international, very similar to what you might see out in some of the farm fields here in Wisconsin. And another tractor. This tractor, for example, has been pulling for over 25 years in the sport. Started out as a father, owner, operator. Teenage son is now starting to do some of the driving, so it is passing hands there, but it is still a very competitive tractor. Managed to finish 3rd in the points this year with central truck pullers. And then here's a picture of my tractor, diesel deer. Just a little bit of the bio. And then there's an Alice Chalmers, an orange tractor, for those that are looking for a little bit of color variety. This tractor is actually was the only machine that was undefeated in 2013. The circuit's been around for 11 years, like I stated earlier. And this was the first time that ever in the existence of the circuit that they had a machine that went undefeated entire circuit, all the circuit runs. So quite an accomplishment on that. Next picture is another modified truck that's been running with our circuit since the beginning. Typically a top 5 finisher, and always attends majority of the events, so you can always count on seeing this truck at the various events. Next tractor is another international. This tractor has been running for in excess of 30 years. Started out as a grandfather running it. It was passed on to his son, and now it's being passed on to the nephew of one of the brothers that actually owns it. In this tractor, I foresee it running, for a number of years again. It's always in the middle of the class. And then this next slide is another John Deere. Tractor had a share of wild rides this past season. One of the pulls, he broke off one of the front tires. Another event, he ended up actually breaking the front end right off the tractor. Just had some tough luck this last year. But just a very good family operation, and suspected to be back in 2014, coming back strong. As you may have already known, pulling is not a cheap sport by no means. Typically, just to get an entry-level vehicle that would start with like the super stock trucks, you're looking at right around $28,000 just to purchase a truck that would be competitive and meet all the safety requirements. You start getting into the modifieds or even the diesel 3.0 trucks, you're looking at about $70,000 to build a machine that would be among the middle to top 5 vehicles. Tractors, you're running right around $50,000 to have a competitive machine. So, like I said, it's not a cheap sport. Sometimes the fans don't realize all the wrenching that goes into it. Most of these machines, typically from the start to finish, they're looking at about 15-second run down the 300+ foot track, and then they end up wrenching on it for hours to prep for the next event. Like I said, these machines are not cheap by no means. Most guys, between their tractor or truck and then the vehicle to haul it, tools and extra parts, they've probably got 100 grand tied up, and easily tied up, just being the sport. This last slide shows all the events that we got for 2014. These are circuit hooks. Most of our pulls are evening pulls, running from 6 to 7 p.m. start time. There are a few afternoon pulls. For example, the Thorpe July 4th pull starts at 3 p.m. because it's got to be coordinated around the evening fireworks. And then also the Unity Wisconsin pull right there on Memorial Day weekend starts at 5 p.m. Dealing with typically maize, typically always wet weather and stuff, so they're trying to accommodate that way. So As you can see, there's most of the polls are evening to late afternoon polls. As I stated, these are only for our circuit. There are some other circuits out there, along with county fairs and whatnot. So hopefully that gave you a good understanding of Central Truck Pullers, and hopefully we'll see you at one of the events in 2014.